All right, so I was gonna make a video about all the crazy shit happening in New York City right now and why I'm so glad I left and all the crazy shit that's happened since 2020. But I'll do that video maybe later in the week because yesterday I was filming my Patreon video, which is gonna go up tonight. Um, and some I came across what I consider to be a really valuable insight, some really important information. So basically, if you've never been on my Patreon, what I'm doing on there is different than what I'm doing on here. But what I do on YouTube is very practical. What I do on Patreon is not would not be considered normal. So that's the easiest way I could explain it. It's unorthodox information from unorthodox resources. But, I believe it's accurate. I believe it's true. I'm always open for debate. Anyone who can debate in a civil way, I'm 100% down for it. I have no problem defending my beliefs or even changing them. So, um, but anyways, this is not going to be a Patreon commercial. So the information I came across in my Patreon video yesterday is basically, and this is something I've known from many sources already, but it it it's important, and it's amazing that I haven't even made a video about it yet. But seeing the video yesterday kind of triggered me into being like, man, this is everybody needs to know this anyway. So basically, the information that was said was all the anger that you feel if you just hang on to it and you don't deal with it properly, what's going to happen is anger, stress, fear, these negative emotions and feelings, they turn into health problems. So what the what was said what was said on the Patreon video, um it, the person it's complicated. You'd have to see the video. The person, I'm just going to say it's a person. The person who said this, he said basically, so there's no easy way to explain it, but basically the world is changing, and not only it's changing on like a microscopic level, like the particles. We're in a different place in the galaxy. It's complicated. Anyways, what's happening now is it's a lot easier in pretty recently to manifest thoughts into reality. So what happens is when you're filled with all this negativity, anger, stress, fear, it manifests into like cancer cells and stuff. I know it probably sounds crazy to people who aren't familiar with this type of stuff, but there's the information is out there. It's just you got to realize that you've been raised in a world where not only is the truth hidden from you, but your head has been filled with misinformation and disinformation, and there's reasons for it that are a lot deeper than just they want money and power. It's not even about that. It's about deeper things. But so the that if you're interested in the details, go on my Patreon. But so without having to make a 2 hour video explaining every aspect of this, basically the main thing you need to realize is that fear, anxiety, stress, anger, this is the root cause of health issues. You could eat McDonald's, nothing but McDonald's, and still be healthy. I don't advise trying it. You have to be, you'd have to be almost like monk levels of self control and, controlling your subconscious and all that in order to still be healthy and eat that type of preservative filled, factory farmed poison. But it's possible. I wouldn't advise trying it. But here's the thing you got to realize. it's not so much the physical world that um, that matters. So I'll give you an example. I eat what I eat yesterday. Yesterday I ate a bacon cheeseburger, and then before I went to bed, I had a burrito from the taco truck up the street. Now that's not exactly healthy food. Oh, I also ate half an avocado. But here's the thing. Here's why I'm still in good shape and I eat the way I eat. First of all, I don't eat a lot. Second of all, since I do that whole intermittent fasting thing for a lot of reasons, maybe I should make a video about it. One of the reasons is that when I do eat, it's such a positive experience because I'm usually so hungry by the time I eat that I appreciate the food so much that basically what happens is I'm like subconsciously pouring positive energy into the food because I'm like grateful for it, I'm excited for it, and I'm projecting positive energy into it on a subconscious level. It's just how I feel and how I feel towards the food, which changes the physics of the food. And that, it may sound crazy. If you think it sounds crazy, look into quantum physics and you'll realize that reality operates. This is how reality operates. It doesn't operate the way you think it does. It's that, quantum physics is quantum physics. You can try to argue with it, but it is what it is. It's like trying to argue with physics. It's like trying to argue with gravity. This is the mechanics of the world we live in. So, I don't go out of my way to just eat like, oh, fish and chicken and broccoli. Like a lot of people, that's like the healthiest, the healthiest diet you could have really would be like, I mean, that's a guess. Not really. That's an educated guess. If you want to be like ripped, low body fat, chicken, fish, broccoli, avocado. Like if you ate just those things, you'd be ripped. You'd probably be deficient in a lot of things. Your body would be, I mean, look, I'm not a dietitian. Here's how the way I eat is whatever my body wants, that's what I give it. My body, since I do the whole intermittent fasting thing every day. So basically, here's my eating schedule. I will eat around, depending on the day, 4, 5, 6, 7 p.m. And then I'll eat again before I go to sleep around midnight, 11:30, 12, 1 a.m. I'll eat before I go to bed. They say that's not healthy to do, but when you eat as little as I do, it doesn't make a difference. And the other thing is, I don't like sleeping on an empty stomach. I like sleeping on a full stomach. Lions do the same thing. A lot of predatory animals do. But so this is why, since I don't eat a lot, I can eat whatever I want. Basically, it's what it comes down to. But here's the thing: my body doesn't ask for like cake and cookies and candy, but those things are like disgusting to me, to be honest. It doesn't even seem like food to me. Like when I was a kid, I used to love that shit. But since I don't know, for the last 5, 10 years, I've eaten very little candy or chocolate. My body just doesn't want it anymore. Um, and the other upside to the whole intermittent fasting thing, now, there's lots of ways to fast, and there's a lots of benefits from it. The main benefits from fasting is basically your body is not going to accumulate cholesterol and whatever other junk nonsense the average person accumulates because they eat 3 big meals a day. They're stuffing so much fucking matter into their body doesn't even know what to do with it all. You know what I mean? So this is how people end up with clogged arteries and tumors and all this shit. It's their body has all this excess material, and a lot of people are thinking and a lot of negative and stressed out, angry, and your body is basically taking all this negativity and extra material and creating problems and shit. So um, but the fasting thing, when you're not overeating, your body it's consuming everything. Nothing accumulates in my body because I'm going. Let's see how many hours. Let's say I ate at midnight last night. and I won't eat until probably 5 or 6 today. So that's 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's 16, 17 hours without eating. And I work out multiple times a day. I don't feel tired. This has been my diet for as long as I can remember. I just don't eat a lot, and I've always had plenty of energy. So, um, what happens is my body, since I'm working out, and I've already worked out twice today, and I haven't eaten yet. I'm not going to eat till way later today, and I feel totally fine. I could go work out right now. Um, but so what happens is my body is just consuming everything in there. This is why I don't have a lot of body fat, and this is why, if you could turn me inside out, you'd see a very clean body, except, I smoke like a chimney. So there might be, you might see some, you know, issues with my lungs, although not even really. It, my health is good. I'll put it to you that way, and I believe it's due to my diet and exercise routines. And also, not just that, another major part of it is my state of mind. I'm in a good mood most of the time. I've learned to forgive others. I don't, here's the thing. Here's why it's not that hard for me to forgive a lot of people for a lot of things, because I think about things that I've done that I want forgiveness for. And I think to myself, the more forgiving I am, that maybe I'll be forgiven for some of the things I've done. You know what I mean? So I forgive others, which helps me to forgive myself. So um, people are like, I can't go to sleep at night because I think of all the terrible things I've done, this and that. Here's the cure for that. Learn to forgive others. Learn to not hold grudges against others, and you know, it's really that simple. How you treat others, really deep down, is how you treat yourself. So when you're not so harsh with everyone else and you learn to be more forgiving with other people, this it's gonna um it's gonna carry over to how you feel about yourself. So man, I'm sweating. Boy, God, man, it's pretty hot down here in Florida. Um, so it's not just the diet and exercise. It's mentally how you feel. There's a channel called After School. They spell school SKOOL. And they do a video on this too. I couldn't tell you the title of it. It was probably a year or two ago. I watched it where they were saying basically everyone thinks genetics are so important. It's not. That's the one. The after school video about the genetics. A lot of people think, oh, I'm overweight because of genetics and this and that. No, not really. It's your state of mind that's doing it. So um, you got to watch the video. They're explaining in a scientific way how genetics probably are nowhere near as important as everyone thinks. It's more the state of mind. So I used to think I was in good shape because my father was in good shape his whole life. My father was just always ripped. But really, once I watched that video on the after school thing, I was thinking to myself, you know, I've been thinking my whole life, my father's ripped, I'm gonna be ripped. It didn't just happen. And the other thing is, my father gave me weights when I was a kid and encouraged me to work out. So I've been doing it my whole life. So maybe the genetics has some impact, but the main thing there is I saw my father my whole life as like ripped. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I came from him, so I'm gonna be ripped. You know what I mean? And so, and then my father gave me some weights that I used to just work out with when I was a kid. And I believe it was not, looking back on it now, I don't think it was so much genetics. It was more my state of mind. Because here's the other thing: my brother came from my father too. And here's the thing: my brother was ripped up until he started drinking like a fish. You know what I mean? But so the point of this video is basically watch your thoughts and be conscious of your thoughts. Be conscious of how you feel. And, you know, I'm one of those people where, fortunately for me, my whole life, when I feel some type of way about something, I try to figure out why. A lot of people just they feel something and they react to it like a monkey getting stung by a scorpion. They don't even realize it was a scorpion that did it. They just something stung them on the butt and it hurt, and they don't know why. But you know, um, you, the point here is try to trace these feelings to where it came from, and this is how you heal these things. There's another YouTube channel, Teal Swan, who's got a lot of good videos if you're trying to, if you want free therapy. I'd say watch Teal Swan. I watch her mainly, well, I don't watch her as much as I used to because I've seen a lot of her videos, but mainly I think she's hot and entertaining. That's why I watch her, but it's also insightful, you know what I mean? So, basically, and in the Patreon video, this person who we're listening to, it's not even, I'm just gonna say it's a person. It's not even a person. It's it's so there's no explaining it in a simple way. But this I'm gonna say it's a person. This person said straight up, anger, if not dealt with, and you just you're living with this negative emotion. It's gonna manifest into cancer cells. He said straight up, anger turns into cancer, and it's not even just that. Um, it's also any negative emotions, fear, anxiety, stress. Look, you know, it's look at how sick a lot of people are in the modern world. It wasn't like that all throughout history. It's like here's the thing. Here's one of the things people got to realize. You can't let things get you too upset or stressed out. First of all, and I'm going to tell you this that this is 100% truth. I know this from experience. Everything happens for a reason. I don't care how negative it is. You could think it's the end of the world. I don't care how bad you think it is. It's happening for a reason. And you got to trust the process and deal with it. You can't, there's nothing in this world. You can't let anything in this world have you so stressed out or afraid that you think you can't deal with it or handle it because this is the thinking that's going to ruin your health. So, you know, I'll put it. Here's my experience with that. I used to be deathly afraid of being homeless. Once I decided to not be deathly afraid of that anymore, and I said, you know what? I'm not living with this proverbial gun to my head and being afraid of it. I'm gonna walk right up to it and challenge it to do what it's gonna do. And so that's what I did. And it wasn't easy, but it wasn't as as bad as I thought it would be. It wasn't. Here's the thing: fear makes everything worse than it actually is. You can be afraid of being punched in the face, and it's not fun to be punched in the face. But I can tell you one thing: it ain't the end of the world either. So, um, losing a fight is not the end of the world. There's people out there deathly afraid of like getting into some sort of physical confrontation with people. Let me tell you something. It's nothing to be afraid of. It's nothing to go out there seeking like, oh, I'm gonna go beat everyone up. No, but here's the thing. You got to realize that there's nothing to be afraid of, and I don't care how bad you think it's gonna be. It's just fear makes it worse. So there's a lot of people living out there with these fears in the back of their mind, just controlling them like a puppet. And there's people out there who do psychotic things. They ruin it. There's no easy way to explain these things, but I'll put it to you this way. Here's an example. So I used to know homeless people who would steal from other people. They were ruthless. They didn't care. They felt they had been screwed over by everyone, and they felt, okay, the rules are out the window now. I'll steal from the homeless. I'll steal from the poor. I'll steal from anyone. I don't give a fuck. It's all about me now, and they think that being this way is going to get them out of the situation. when realistically what's happening is they're bogging themselves down in the situation because they're accumulating a karmic debt, which is just going to make things harder on them. There's this I read in this Zen book one time. It said everybody's got there was an exact number. It said something like everybody's got 130 gods looking out for them. The more nasty shit you do, some of them are going to leave. They're going to be like, I'm not looking out for this guy no more. Some of them are going to be more loyal. They're going to stay. But basically, it's like a metaphor for karma. The more foul shit you do, the less um, the less this universe is going to look out for you. I'll just put it to you that way. So these people, these homeless people, I used to know, and I'm not going to sit there and lecture them and try to teach them. Everybody's got to learn on their own, and it's the law of free will. I have no right to just step in and interfere and tell them, oh, this is how this is going to go, and um, if you want to do this, do that. You know what I mean? That's against God's will. It's not like God does, it's here's the thing. You should try to go against evil as much as possible. But here's the thing. Some people bring evil on themselves, and that you don't interfere in because that is just the cosmic dance doing its thing. They're getting back what they put out. So, um, you know, you can't just go around interfering in everything at every point, trying to, you know, control the world. It's God doesn't even want you to do that. You know what I mean? So, um, what the hell was I just saying? So basically, you know, it's everyone. The law of free will. Everyone has a right to know everything or not know everything, and some people don't want to know. So this is one of the reasons my Patreon stuff is on Patreon because that stuff is for the people who want to know, and the YouTube stuff is for whoever stumbles into it. And I don't promote or push my stuff really anywhere. People who are friends with me on Facebook are like, "How come you never post your YouTube videos on Facebook?" I'm like, because when I'm on Facebook, I'm just sharing memes and being funny. I'm not out here to promote myself. Like, whoever's meant to see my videos is going to see them, and that goes for Patreon too. So I don't have to sit here pushing and promoting. It's not, if I'm doing stand-up comedy and they're paying me a cut of the door or something, I'll promote that maybe a little, not much, because I'm not a fucking promoter. That's the promoter's job. But I would post it on Facebook or whatever because there's people who want to see me do stand up. But you know, I'm not I'm not trying to sell anyone on anything here. You know what I mean? I'm just doing what life has led me to do at this point. And so anyways, I'm getting off subject. The point of this video is watch your thoughts and be cognizant of the subconscious, be cognizant of how you feel, all this anxiety and shit, all these people filled with anxiety. It's like I used to be like that too until I started facing the things that I was afraid of. And then I came to a very shocking conclusion, and that is that there's nothing to be afraid of. And I mean nothing. Like, does that mean everything's easy at all times and pleasant? And no, that's not what that means. What it means is that when bad things happen, you can learn from it. So, here's what's that saying? No good sailor was ever made on a smooth sea. So, whatever bad things happen to you, instead of just being terrified and, oh, I've got to go fucking start stealing from everyone now. Just deal with it, and don't let it knock you out of character and turn you into something you're not. Always just try to be the best version of yourself, regardless of what happens. And whatever happens, try to learn from it. And this is how This is how the universe works. You're going to keep running into the same issues until you learn what those issues are trying to teach you. So, um, you know, the the way you think and the way you feel is so much more important than you realize, is my point here. Like Tesla said, everything is what do you say? Everything is vibrations and frequencies. It's totally the truth. It's, how you feel and what you're thinking is like broadcast out of you. And so, if you want to be a magnet for negative things, then think negatively, be angry, be upset, and do nasty things, and you'll be a magnet for negativity. If you want to be a magnet for positivity, just be the best version of yourself. I'm not saying you need to go and, you know, help every old lady across the street and preach the gospel to everyone you see. No, you just do the best you can. All right, this video is getting long. So, the main point here is the stress, the anger, the fear. It's gonna ruin your health. So figure out where it's coming from, and 9 times out of 10, it's coming from your own thoughts and actions. You gotta look. Nobody's perfect. We can all admit we've all made mistakes. So this is how you evolve. This is how you grow. You recognize, oh, that was a mistake that I did there. I'm not going to do that again. That may, that may bring some negativity my way. When it comes, I'm going to take it like a man, and I'm going to deal with it, and I'm going to remember that I reap what I sow, and I put that out there, and here it came back to me, and this is balanced. This is the natural way of the universe, and I wouldn't have it any other way. And I'm grateful to pay my karmic debt here and move on with my life. So, the whole some of the times when I was homeless, I'd be thinking, man, this is too much. It's too hard. It's this, it's that. I'd be thinking to myself, you did some fucked up shit to this person, that person. You did some foul shit in your day too. So maybe you earned this. And I think to myself, okay, that might be true. And I'm going to just deal with it. And hopefully things will get better. If you're going through hell, keep going, because eventually you're going to come out the other side of it a stronger, wiser, and better person. So, don't hang on to, you know, anger and rage and this and that. Here's the other thing. Have I forgiven everyone for everything? No, but I do try. I try to. So just the fact of trying, it brings me a certain level of peace. So, anyways, look, it's the same with aging, stress, anger, fear, anxiety. These things are going to age you faster, and you got to realize that you're stressing and you're angry and your anxiety. It's all based on misunderstandings and just not knowing how things actually operate 9 times out of 10. So, anyways, let me put an end to this video. New Patreon videos going up later today. I got to go get something to eat. Then I got to write the description for that. But I felt that this information is important enough to where, even though I can't exactly explain everything here on YouTube, it's important enough for um, for me to make a video about it. And if it impacts one person in a positive way, then it was worth doing. So um, I guess that's the end of this video. Appreciate every single one of y'all. Um, I will link my other channel. I'll probably put up another Red Dead Redemption playthrough tomorrow or the next day. I think I'm about to quit smoking weed again. It's time for me to wake up and get going again. It's that simple. So the Red Dead Redemption playthroughs are probably going to be me not stoned coming up real soon. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But anyways, appreciate every single one of y'all. If you want a response to your comment, try to get it within the first 30 or so. Um, Thanks for the subs. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for the comments, tips. Thanks for the Patreons especially. And I'll put up the new Patreon video later today, so I'll see some of y'all there. Either way, appreciate every single one of y'all, and let's make it 30 even. Everybody have a good one.